23. Using natural debris such as dried leaves, man-made trash such as plastic bags, and more traditional art supplies such as tree glue, Ghanaian artist creates his striking masks, which he hopes can help viewers rethink how waste is used in their communities. Well, looking in the original sentence, I already see a semicolon. And when we think about the typical rule of a semicolon where it's used to separate complete sentences, it's like a period. First thing we ask is that how it's being used here? And it really can't be, because what's before the semicolon is not a complete sentence, and what is after the semicolon is not really a complete sentence. The complete sentence really starts here. And so this is kind of not in the right place if the semicolon's being used that way. But there's a second rule for a semicolon, which is to be used to separate elements of a list. It's called the serial semicolon. Normally, when we have a list, we use commas to separate those elements, but in certain circumstances, we would use semicolons. So at this point, we pretty much know it can't be A or C. We know it's got to be one of these choices with semicolons in it to kind of be consistent with this list. But where are our elements in our list? What are the elements in our list? Where do they begin and end? That's going to tell us where the semicolon goes. And when you're building a list in this way, especially when you're going to use these semicolons, you're usually using the semicolon when the elements of the list are complicated or punctuated in some way. And we want to make sure that these elements are parallel, that they're consistent with each other. So notice the first one, using natural debris, such as dried leaves. And then we have man-made trash, such as plastic bags, and more traditional art supplies, such as tree glue. Let's kind of highlight the parallelisms here. There are three things that we're using. We're using natural debris, man-made trash, and more traditional art supplies. And so I'm going to highlight in green those parts of each element. And then each of them is followed by a comma and then a such as phrase, which I'll highlight in yellow. And that is the end of the element, because that's where we put the semicolon here. So that suggests, if I actually continue the highlighting here, that the semicolon in B is in the right place, because we want to separate the such as phrase from the first element from the beginning of the second element. And D has got that semicolon there, which is good, but it throws a semicolon here, which is not in the right place, because there should be a comma here, and what follows this is the such as phrase that goes with the second element. So the green is parallel with the green, the yellow with the yellow. That tells us we need the semicolon in this position and this position only, and that's how we get choice B.